The runes in Season of Discovery are going to completely change the way we play Frost Mage in World of Warcraft Classic. First up, let's look at the races we have on offer. If you are choosing Alliance, then you're either going to be a human or a gnome. My suggestion would be gnome for the expansive mind racial, giving you 5% increased intellect. If then you are looking at horde, then it's between trolls and the undead. If you want my suggestion, it's going to be troll for that juicy berserking racial buff. But of course, we are talking about technically min-maxing here, so just choose whatever the hell you think is going to be the most fun for you. Looking at our stat priority then, number one is going to be hitting the spell hit cap. 16% is the cap. Now, I'm going to be honest here, I don't think that's going to happen, but in an ideal world, this is the priority. So you're not really actually going to be seeing much of this on any gear, but again, if we're looking in a perfect world, this is the priority you want to follow. Then it's going to be intellect and then spell power. These two things you are going to be seeing more of on your gear, and a lot of the gear in Classic is actually going to be specific. Like there's a lot of green items out there that increase specifically fire damage or shadow damage and things like that. Then we've got critical strike, and lastly is spirit, but we're not going to get too much of that as well. Moving on then to the talent points and those exciting runes we're going to be getting. This is the talent build as Frost that I would go with. Now, I don't really actually think Frost is going to be the top tip optimum build to go for, because when you actually start looking at Frost, and we're going to get into this with the runes, you actually then start taking fire runes, and then it's like, well, I might as well play fire. And if you are interested in that, then check my video linked in the description, because I have got one for fire and arcane as well. But everyone has been asking me for a Frost guide, so here it is. Looking at the talent tree, then we're going to put 5 out of 5 into improved Frostbolt. Sorry, by the way, for my voice, I've got a really bad cold, but I'm powering through to film this. 3 out of 3 going into elemental precision, reducing the chance that the opponent can resist our frost and fire spells. 5 out of 5 into ice shards. This is going to increase the critical strike damage of your frost spells by 100%, which is massive. And then we've got 2 out of 2 in improved Frost Nova, reducing the cooldown of our Frost Nova spell by 4 seconds. This is mainly only used to get into Shatter. It is going to be useful in leveling, of course, but at endgame when we're raiding, Shatter is what we're trying to get to. This is going to increase the critical strike chance of our spells against frozen targets, which is going to go back in with our ice shards, increasing the crit damage. Now, Shatter is really powerful. And at level 25, we can only get 1 point in there, which is a real shame. I do think in the next phase, this is going to go blow up massively and be a really powerful DPS rotation, but we're going to look how this all comes in together. Looking at the runes then, first of all, we're going to go with the chest rune, and there's 2 options here that I would say to take. One is going to be Fingers of Frost or Burnout. So again, we can take Burnout, which is going to increase your spell crit chance with all spells by 15%, but your non-periodic spell strikes now have an additional mana cost. And we could then also go with Living Bomb. But then if you're using these, at the end of the day, you might as well just go down the fire route. Like we're going to be using more fire spells anyway. So if this is a truly Frost spec that I'm showing you, like you guys have asked for, then it's going to be Fingers of Frost. Gives your chill effects a 15% chance to grant you the Fingers of Frost effect, which treats your next 2 spells as if the target were frozen. And then pairing that with our hand rune, it's going to be with our Ice Lance, dealing damage to an enemy target and causes triple if they are frozen. And as we just saw, the Fingers of Frost buff gives us a chance to make our damage act as if they were frozen, which is going to massively impact this Ice Lance rune. Then on the leg, I would say to take Icy Veins. This is going to hasten your spellcasting, increasing spellcasting by 20% and reducing the pushback suffered from damage and attacks while casting by 100%, and this lasts 20 seconds when used. The main reason we're then taking Ice Lance and Fingers of Frost is because, remember, with our Shatter, it's going to increase the crit chance against frozen targets, which of course, that's what we're getting from our runes. And then we also have Ice Shards, increasing the critical strike damage bonus of our Frost spells by 100%. So that all kind of weaves in together to do some insane damage. However, if you are taking Living Bomb and Burnout, then at that point, we're not using frost spells and we might as well go into fire anyway, like I said before. Looking then at the gear we're going to be getting, a lot of the best in slot is going to be coming from Black Fathom Deeps, of course, because that is the raid. And you can see a lot of this here. There are actually some things like the Magician's Mantle, which I have actually seen people already selling in trade chat in the Undercity and other cities. Mind Frost Braces again is a BOE. You can get some of these things on the auction house. People are really trying to get as much money as they can out of these because they are like really good best in slot items that are BOE. And another one is going to be Shadowfang Keep. Archmage, Aragol, and there's another boss in there, Nando. He also drops some really good gear. They both do. It's not on here. It's just the belt of Aragorn, but there is also a chest piece you can get from there and a few other items as well that are really good. Not quite best in slot, but a great second choice. Looking then at the rotation, it's going to be quite simple. We're going to use our Fire Blast to finish enemies off when they are near death. And then we're going to use our Icy Veins cooldown on cooldown, of course. And then it's pretty much going to be using Frostbolt and Ice Lance to get those Fingers of Frost buffs and Shatter procs going to do insane crit damage, etc. And that is pretty much it. That is how you're going to play Frost Mage in Season of Discovery. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please do check out my other guides as well. If you want to actually see these guide videos before anybody else and get all of my WoW spreadsheets that I use for retail and classic, then also check out my Patreon in the description below.